Welcome back. Let's get right into it. Here is the new Model Y Standard. So I just did a video reviewing that car right there. That's the Model 3 Standard. This is the Model Y Standard, and they got another one over there. Shout out to Kim Java over there with the 18-inch wheels. So we'll talk about that in a second. This is a world beater. I'm gonna explain why. First of all, let's take its clothes off. Let's get it unraveled. Let's get it unraveled. Out here in Texas. Also, a big thank you to Tesla for inviting me out to cover these cars, and thank you to you guys for watching the videos. Almost cried. Sincerely appreciate it. So this is one of the paid colors. So this is $1,000 upgrade. So I had to mute myself here in front of the Tesla factory because pricing changed literally hours before this video went live with all of the colors and what colors are being offered. So deep blue metallic, like you see in this video, is no longer being offered on either the standard Model Y or 3. The current colors and pricing are as follows: Stealth Gray, free; Pearl White, $1,000; and Diamond Black, $1,500. That was the only one that was correct. Now, the recommended tire pressure on this is 42 PSI, and you know what kind of air you want in your tires? You want Fantic air, and that's today's video sponsor. This is their X9 Classic portable tire inflator, and you can set your PSI as well as change the modes, whether you're filling up a car, a motorcycle, a bicycle, or even sports balls or floaties. You can have all these custom settings, and it's very ergonomic and easy to store in your vehicle. So when you plug it in here, you can see the current PSI is 37, but we need to go to 42 PSI, so then you just tap the power button. And then it shuts off once it gets to your set PSI, and then you have this bar here showing you that you're at 100% of where you wanted to be. You also have the light on this side of it here, so if you're doing this in the dark, it will fully light up where your valve stem is so you can see what you're working on. And for Amazon Prime Day, both this and the Fantic Slim V8 Apex 4-in-1 car vacuum have a great discount with the links in the description. So thank you, Fantic, for sponsoring this video. Now back to it. Let's start with the exterior of the vehicle. I'm going to talk about the range of the vehicle. In fact, let's talk about that right now. We'll get into cost and all of that. The most obvious thing is the headlights. I think a lot of people are actually going to like this. Light bars are very common now, and the fact that their cheapest variant has these really sleek headlights. These don't have the matrix capability, which bends light around oncoming vehicles, so it doesn't have that, but it has a really unique look to it in the front, and the front bumper's actually been changed a lot. You can see right here, there's no slot on the side, whereas on the Model Y Performance and the Model Y Long Range, you have that little slit here to help move air around the vehicle. So they've not only changed the headlights, but the actual front fascia as well. All right, we're back at Gjeebs headquarters in Arizona. So this is my Model Y, and I wanted to show you the difference on the front bumper here. So obviously you have the light bar going all the way across. You also have this fog light right here, and you have the massive slit on the front bumper. So the premium versions do have a sportier look to them. There is still a slit. It's about this big. On the standard Model Y, it's still there. You just kind of have to look for it. But there is a pretty large difference on the front bumper redesign that they did. It's not just like the light bar. It's this light, it's the slit, it's a lot. So Tesla is starting to do some differentiating factors. But one of the things that is premium about owning an electric vehicle is range. So what is the range now on the new Model Y Standard? I also find it fascinating. There is no Tesla logo on the Model Ys anymore, and it's always been like that for whatever reason. The range on this, 303 miles of range with these 19-inch wheels, 321 miles of range with those 18-inch wheels that are over there. So it's really nice that they're producing vehicles. Yes, they've reduced the cost. The battery size in this is 69 kilowatts usable. So they reduced the battery size. They've also reduced the max charging rate to 225 kilowatts, but it still adds a ton of range. In 15 minutes, it adds in 15 minutes. We want to bring you the facts. Here it is. Charging speed. In 15 minutes, and this is measured off their actual testing cycles, not just like a calculation, 162 miles added in 15 minutes. If you go to the Model Y Premium, 182 miles for the rear-wheel drive in 15 minutes, and 169 miles added in 15 minutes on the all-wheel drive. The performance model, being the least efficient of all of these, adds 144 miles in 15 minutes. And this also weighs 4,061 pounds, which I think is 123 pounds less than the Model Y Premium. for what they've removed, but there's something shocking up front on this vehicle. We'll start with the shock factor. That's what we're all about here. Okay, here we go. Get ready to throw up. Here we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I love the body. You can see the body paint in here. But they have changed the frunk. So it used to have that beautiful plastic cover that kept everything nice and tucked away. And now it's different. So if you look at a spec sheet, you will see that this Model Y, the standard, has 75 cubic square feet of storage. I guess I don't need to say, it's just cubic feet, isn't it? We gotta get these things right, it matters. Yeah, 75 cubic feet. Cubic square feet makes no sense because square feet's flat, cubic is dimensional. They've lost a little space up here. I also asked them, I said, okay, can water like come up through here? And he said, yes, if like you're waiting, obviously water can come up in here. It might get a little damp if you're running, if it's like really wet outside. So they've lost, it's a little smaller in the frunk. And you can see it's just this cheap, I don't even know what this is, this material, but just a much cheaper material. And you can see it does not have a drain plug. So major change there, major key. And then if we go up here, it doesn't have the HEPA filter. So you don't have the bioweapon defense mode. So some big changes to the frunk area of the Model Y, which I didn't expect. Just for comparison, here is a look at a Model Y premium frunk area. You can see here, it's actually, I'm seeing this in person now for the first time after seeing the standard. It looks significantly larger. It's only 1 cubic foot. But it has the drain plug here, and you saw in my road trip videos how I used that. And you can see this right here fully seals it off from any water in addition to this. And it just looks more beautiful. Everything's all sealed off, and there is a HEPA filter under here. So again, pretty significant difference when you go up to the premium version for what the frunk looks like. Now, Tesla's goal with the Model Y and with the Model 3, the standards, was to, at its core, keep the features that make Teslas great. So that includes the Sentry mode, the cameras all over your vehicle, all still included. The center infotainment screen, a 15.4-inch infotainment screen, still included. It's the same on all variants except for the performance, which actually has a better screen now. It also has full self-driving capability, but it doesn't have auto steer with autopilot. So it has autopilot, which is dynamic cruise control, meaning it will keep the distance in the car in front of it and you can steer and have it on cruise control, but it won't steer itself. The premium versions have auto steer. But what makes a Tesla great? A big part of Tesla's future is autonomy, so you can get full self-driving on this. So we need to talk about the cost right now. $39,990. So if you hear me say $40,000 anywhere else in this video, pricing actually changed since I filmed this video. $39,990 starting price for the Model Y standard. It's $3,000 less to get the Model 3 standard, $3,000 more to go from the 3 up to the Model Y. And if you want to go to the Model Y Premium rear-wheel drive with all of the features, it's an extra $5,000, so $44,990, $5,000 more for the Premium. But what's great, again, is they've kept the range on this to be almost matching the Premium, which is excellent. So let's move down the side more. And also, again, another thing that makes owning a Tesla great, they're extremely safe, so it has all of the same safety features. Now moving on to the back here, some changes that I've noticed. You can see this glass here is rounded out. On the new Model Y, like the launch edition that I have at home, it's actually squared off here. The reason for that is because they've actually used the old glass on the Model Ys. The reason that they've used the old glass is, again, this is another huge thing. Check this out. So up top, glass roof, right? This is the glass roof. On the inside, the roof is covered with their normal Tesla's headliner. And I asked them, I said, okay, isn't metal just cheap? Why not just throw a metal roof on this and then you don't have to worry about leaving the glass on? And he said because of the relationships they already have in place with their vendors for the glass and not changing the manufacturing process, it's actually easier and cheaper for Tesla to just leave the glass and block it out like they did. The other benefit of that is the HVAC system doesn't have to run it hard because of the sun beating down on the interior and running that. So that's how they were able to squeeze 5% more efficiency out of this vehicle compared to even the most efficient Model Y in the premium trim. The other thing you will notice here is these textile seats. So this is the material that's been developed for Cybertruck and for the Tesla Semi. These are not powered anymore. So you have this, you're able to recline them still, very convenient, but it doesn't have the power fold and retract. That is for the premium models. Also, the 8-inch high-res touchscreen has been removed, and you have manual controls up here. You still have controls on the screen up front, but this is different. Another huge change is the center console. Check this out. So this folds down like this, and it's just built right into the seat backs. You have your cup holders, which are actually angled up. So despite this sitting in an angle, your cups will be sitting straight up. So they've removed the power reclined seats out of it. It still has the 12 volt in the back trunk area. It does have a 7-speaker sound system. And I was like, oh man, that's gonna stink. And then we were shocked. It still has like a good bass, 7 speakers, no subwoofers, and the sound system sounds good. It's better than a lot of other vehicles, especially at this price point. So that was one thing I was like, oh, that's gonna stink, and it actually surpassed my expectations. So I think that they've built a really quality vehicle here at a great cost with a ton of technology. I mean, look at the space that you have in the back of this. Again, I'm 6 feet tall, so if I'm sitting in the middle, because it's a flat floor, I can still put my feet side by side there, and then you have a ton of space on either side. There's no seat back pockets, that's been removed. Another detail is in the door card areas, you don't have the carpeting like you have on the premium versions. So now in the back of my Model Y Premium, you can see here we have these seat back pockets. We have the fully vegan leather perforated seats, and they are heated. Additionally, you have these switches down here, which will fully fold the seats down for you. And even moves this seat up so it all clears. So that is all automatic in the premium version. We also have the 8-inch touchscreen back here, and there are no manual switches, so you have to go to the screen to adjust the airflow just like this. I actually like that there are manual switches in the rear of the new one. And you have this much more traditional seat rest here. There's actually a spider web in mine. Much more luxury feature here of how this is all built in. But again, in terms of cutting costs, I actually like what it was. I thought it was, I wanted to say ingenuitive, but it was nice ingenuity what they did with the other one to cut costs. The other thing you'll notice, there's carpet on the door cards here, and the Model 3 standard keeps it in here, whereas the Model Y standard removes the carpet and then the door cards. And you can see right here, this is their double paned 360 acoustic glass that is on the rear and the front and the roof and the rear window, which is why this thing is incredibly quiet. The other thing to note is the glass. So the glass is single pane here. On the premium versions, a big thing of what they have been doing is putting on the 360 acoustic glass, and they've done an excellent job of reducing cabin noise. And it's a single pane up front too. But what Tesla found is because this roof, there's less reverberation, it's now a soft roof, they were able to still reduce the noise inside the cabin and use the older Tesla glass. This is what they were using in 2020, and they were able to bring that back because of the sound they were able to reduce in the cabin with the roof being covered. So it's not as quiet as a Model Y Premium, but it's still excellent, and certainly not what it was back in 2020 when the Model Y launched. Into the trunk, opening that button, it has like a cheaper sounding like pop to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's minute detail, but just something I noticed. The parcel shelf cover here will be a paid option if you want to get that as an accessory. Personally, I have one, and I find it kind of, I personally don't like it, but some people might like it for extra security. You can see they've removed the buttons back here for the power seats. But overall, it's the same great trunk. You have a ton of space back here, so you still have all of that space, and it's all carpeted. So they've done a nice job of maintaining that. And again, keeping Tesla at its core, what it does best. Still has a power trunk, all of that stuff. And then they've also changed the rear diffuser. The rear bumper diffuser area has been slightly changed on these standard models. You also don't have the big light bar. That's a letdown. I think that the light bar is such a cool feature. It leaves the afterburner effect on the ground. And then it has, again, blacked out Tesla lettering right across there. So that all looks good. Again, this doesn't light up or anything. You just have these lights in the exterior. But they were able to reduce a ton of cost, and that's what people wanted. Now around the rear here, it's totally different. These brake lights on the premium version, in my opinion, look a lot cooler and futuristic. This also right here, this is plastic. So this is a completely redesigned spoiler on the Model Y Premium. The reason this is plastic is because for insurance costs, a lot of people were letting these go up and hit their garage doors. The The rear-facing camera is also in a slightly different position because of the light bar that's back here. It has to be up higher. So there's a ton of change that went into the Model Y Premium and Standard in comparison to the Model 3. There's a lot less that happened. So if you do get the Premium version, there are a ton of extra premium features on it that will make you feel like your money went a little further and you're actually getting something for that. Because Tesla has proven now they can make a great suspension. They can make a car that's very quiet. They've always been fast and efficient, but now they're adding luxury features to them that actually make a difference while being able to make a cost-effective version that still is elevated, but only has the essentials. The other unique thing is they removed the antenna for AM/FM radio. So you don't have AM/FM radio in this, but you still get Sirius XM and you can stream Bluetooth on your phone. You can actually probably stream the radio through your phone and then Bluetooth it to the car. In the premium version, here is what radio looks like, so you can turn it on and off. And again, it's not included in the standard. Kind of a weird feature, but again, they're cutting as much cost as possible, and a lot of people don't listen to the radio anyways, so they're taking that gamble. Another massive change is in the front. It's crazy how much has changed on this vehicle. Check this out. For the first time ever, well, not ever, but in a Model Y, they've removed this center console area. Some of the feedback, see, this is the one. Let's talk about another change. You can see over here, no buttons to move the seat. To move the seat, it's now this on the screen. You click there. You can use the scroll wheel. There we go. You can use the scroll wheel to move your seat. So I'm moving it back using the scroll wheel, but they removed a button. That's one of the features I don't like. I wish they just kept those buttons there. But again, I guess that's something you'll get used to. And they also said, well, you know, once you set your seat, you don't really move it. I always move my seat. Some days I feel like I need to be up high, some days I want to be down low, and it's just kind of a nuisance to have to go to the screen here to do all that. So they've also removed the seat adjustment buttons. It's on the screen. But it's also, on the same hand, it's a flex on Tesla's end to say, hey, we can just do that in the software and the screen and it works perfectly. Wireless phone chargers here, same power as produced in the Model Y Premium. It's just rubbery here as opposed to the Alcantara trim. But this is wide open now. So for you ladies out there, your moms, you got to throw your purse in. Maybe we diaper holsters down here, quick draw diaper holsters. You still have your cup holders here. You have your center console with USB-C power down here. And I just think that that is just another shocking change that they've done to the Model Y. But the seats, you know, they are heated. They're not cooled. And you're probably going to get some back sweat in there. But this is a breathable material. I'm happy they're still heated. You do not have heated seats in the rear. 0 to 60 time on this is 6.8 seconds. So I'm curious for our driving experience to see how that feels. Is that going to feel slow? Because the Model 3 is 5.8. So it's a second quicker, but it has the same battery and the same drivetrain. So it might be a gear ratio difference, but that's a second quicker. The 5.8's still fairly quick. You still have your front facing camera and all of your buttons on here, high beams, windshield wiper fluid, and your turn signal stalk is on the left here. They've kept that. Now, some things that I missed on my spec sheet here that are interesting. So the ground clearance on this is 6.4 inches. It's 6.6 inches on the Model Y Premium, so it sits a little higher. And then the Model Y Performance is 6.1 inches lowered on its performance suspension. The driver's side seat is 10-way driver side adjustable and 4-way passenger touchscreen adjustable power controls. So they are still power, but they're all controlled by the screen controls. The steering wheel, I didn't talk about this. And the mirrors. These are non-powered mirrors now, so these don't fold in on their own. It's a manual adjustment there. And the steering wheel is manual adjustment, which I actually like. I like that this is manual adjustment. So that's how it telescopes and goes up and down, which is very different for Tesla. I always hate adjusting the steering wheel on the Model Y, going to the screen and having to play with the buttons. I just love being able to grab down here. And again, Tesla is shooting for the first-time EV buyer. They're bringing the price point down, but still keeping all of the cool features. So they love this, and then they'll go look to a more expensive Tesla down the road and stay within the family. And I think they've done an excellent job of that. And then this is just one less feature that they have to go, what do I have, you know what I mean? So here's a summary of all of the highlights of the Model Y Standard that would be important to you. And on the right side of your screen, you can click this video right here to take a look at some accessories or the first drive of the brand new Tesla Model Y Standard.